But let me tell you something. Yeah, that's right. Let me tell you something, you guys. The court dismisses a lawsuit challenge federal marijuana laws, you guys. That's right. The U.S. District Court of Massachusetts dismissed a case challenging marijuana's federal illegality on Monday, rejecting arguments made by cannabis companies against prohibition. U.S. District Judge Mark Mastroianni, an Obama appointee, ruled that the plaintiffs have standing to sue, but in dismissing the lawsuit, his order applied the same analysis that the Supreme Court did when it last addressed the issue in 2005 in Gonzalez versus Raich. In a quote, "Only the Supreme Court can overrule its own decisions, and lower courts must apply a precedent with direct application, even if there is a basis for believing the precedent has been undermined by later developments," the order read. The Massachusetts marijuana companies, represented by the powerhouse law firm of David Boyce — I know David Boyce, and shout out to him — had argued that the facts around marijuana have changed since the Supreme Court ruled on that issue, and I think he's correct on that. But nonetheless, the companies plan to appeal the ruling, as they should, and some details on this case. While attorneys for the Justice Department challenged the marijuana companies' standing, the court ruled that the plaintiffs in the case had grounds to sue due to the threat of federal enforcement. In a quote, "The court finds the plaintiffs have shown there is a causal connection between their economic injuries and the CSA," the order read. But the court ruled in favor of the federal government when it came to the Commerce Clause and due process. In Raich, the Supreme Court ruled that even state legal medical marijuana cultivation was subject to the Commerce Clause because of its potential impact on the interstate commerce of cannabis. In a quote, "This court must apply the same analytic framework in this case because plaintiff's Commerce Clause claim is legally identical to the claim in Raich," the order read. The order also found that there is no precedent establishing a fundamental right to curative cannabis in the U.S., and in the absence of a fundamental right to engage in the cultivation, processing, and distribution of marijuana, plaintiffs cannot prevail on their substantive due process claim, the order read. And a little bit more context in all of this for you guys. While plenty of pro-marijuana advocates have attempted to challenge marijuana's federal illegality over the years, this case is notable because the plaintiffs are being represented by the law firm of Boyce, best known for its successful antitrust litigation breaking up Microsoft. Josh Schiller, a partner at Boyce Schiller Flexner and one of the attorneys representing the plaintiffs, said that the ruling was fair even though their constitutional arguments were rejected by the court, he says. In a quote, he says, "I'm pleased with the substance of it because the court finally said we had standing," Schuler said in an interview. But he also says, "The timing of the order was serendipitous," he said, "because of the Supreme Court's recent ruling on Chevron deference, a legal doctrine that protected federal regulations from lawsuits. That ruling could imperil efforts by the Biden administration to loosen federal marijuana restrictions, making the canna provisions case all the more important to state cannabis actors," Schiller explained. And you guys want to know what's next? Well, attorneys for the plaintiffs plan to appeal the decision to the First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Boston. Whether that court decides to hear the case itself or punts it to the Supreme Court, either outcome would be fine with us, Schuler said. Well, I think overall, now, David Boyce, I sat with David Boyce when he first wanted to raise funds to make these arguments and find some cannabis companies that would fund his firm to make these arguments. And so I will say that I'm glad that I didn't put funds into it based off of this ruling. But I do think that ultimately they will ultimately win this case, mainly because of the Chevron decision that happened yesterday. And I'm going to digress and see what you guys have to say. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. What do y'all think about this?
It's constitutional law. Once again, it's equal protection underneath the Constitution of the United States. No one wants to step up and be the person that pushes that forward, though, from a court-appointed standpoint, because they are still elected officials. They're still getting money from people, and they're still looking behind their backs before they rule on something that's going to upset someone. So I think, I would encourage someone to sack up and do it.
I thought this was the one. I thought these were the guys that take them down. I thought these were the giant killers, Jason.
They are. David Boyce is a very very functional lawyer.
More than functional. I mean, he's at a level that most attorneys will never reach. And so
that's true.
This is the case. And so this is a stepping stone to where they're trying to take this case. So the reason why they're not upset around what happened with this case is because it allowed them to at least cement that they have standing, which means that they can take it to that next step. I don't think they ever expected that they were just going to get some miraculous outcome at this level of the court process and that everything was just going to be peaches and roses moving forward. So they're happy because they're moving forward, and they know that the precedents that were cited in this court case were at a Supreme Court level, and the only way that you can get that to be changed is likely to have to go back before the Supreme Court. Now, you had made a comment earlier, Jason, about the Supreme Court. This Supreme Court, I've gotten more Supreme out of a Taco Bell order. However,
stop it.
This Supreme Court is likely to rule in ways that are more deeply partisan than anything we've ever seen in 75 years. And for cannabis, if that aligns with a states' rights mindset and all of the Federalist Society devotees who think that the court is the place where real societal change can happen and further their agenda, there is an argument that moving it along to the next step in the process and eventually getting to the Supreme Court is not only part of the strategy, but is probably where they expected that they'll finally get the results that they're trying to achieve anyway.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
That's it? That's all you got to say on that, Rico? Really?
Clearly can't trust the Supreme Court to make rational decisions.
I trust.
Todd's picking up what I'm putting down.
I trust over half of them to do it. Not some of the wokies, but the rest of them.
You trust 6 of them?
Yeah.
The wokies.
I don't know, man. It depends on what kind of weekend that the human beer can, a.k.a. Brett Kavanaugh, had.
Yeah.
You have no idea what kind of Monday mornings he's going to have.
Here, I'm gonna send this picture over to Adam real quick. Adam, where do you want me to send this to?
His case of the Mondays comes in Busch Light flavoring.
This is a photo of me and Mr. David Boyce. I just emailed it over to Adam. He's going to have this up in just a second.
How do you have that so quickly to recall? Like, I can't even find the selfies I took 3 weeks ago with the dog in the park, and like you're able to bada bing, bada boom. Like, do you have those all categorized on your phone? How does that work for you? Because I'm impressed.
Well, so all of
yeah, Jason, you can't remember, you can't seem to remember shit else, but you can't remember where all your photos are, huh?
I mean, we were on an episode 2 weeks ago, and he popped up a picture of him in Germany because we were covering Germany, like it was no big deal, like searching his iPhone, me in Germany.
You can search that.
Well, you can do that on the iPhone, right? All you have to do is put.
It doesn't
Germany
work. It doesn't work for me because I have my location services off on my phone, so it doesn't work like that in on my photos. But that's cute that you guys would think that.
So,
sure, Jason. Sure.
So this is you and David Boyce, huh?
Yeah. You got the photo, Adam?
The resolution looks a little low, so all I see is Pride Month. I don't know what these two people are.
That's me. That's me and David Boyce when we had the whole conversation a number of years ago in regards to him wanting to file and do this whole case originally. So shout out to David Boyce and their law firm, and you know what I mean? Yeah. It's my guy.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
How about?
Yeah, because this is the same guy that did the MLB ruling, the Microsoft ruling. Like he's a powerhouse in the legal world.
We do also have to acknowledge that was not Schuler in that story. That was Schiller, just because it's probably going to pop up in mine as well. So I wanted to make sure before I said it correctly that we give the man the.
Hey, Jason, what are you drinking there?
What do you mean?
Something with the rufinol in it. I don't know
best
if that's
water
shadow or just a smug smile. It's hard for me to see with the resolution.
I think it's a THC infused beverage.
No, there's no beverage in
there is no beverage in my hand. What are you guys talking about?
You guys are starting to like superimpose these.
You guys must have had some of those. You guys must have had some of those candies from Rico's story or something.
I don't know, man. Yeah, are you holding a phantom cup there, Jason?
There's no cups in my hand.
No, that's water that he's truly trying to spill all in my laptop.
You're just holding your arm there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Looks like you didn't know what to do with your hand in that picture.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was just gonna say, if there is no cup in his hand, why are you keeping your pinky out?
Yeah,
Pinky's up.
Like you're about
Pinky's up, bro.
Sniff his hair.
Pinky's up.
You know,
Pinky's
get your Joe Biden on. You know what I'm saying?
Classy.
You guys are crazy. You guys are
Mamba
crazy.
mentality.
Shout out to the
Mamba
Boys law firm and all the work that they're trying to do for our community. But nonetheless, we're
Let's
gonna roll.
hear it for the boys.
No, that was cute. Rico.